about half a year later. Wow. About half a year later, I took, I took and went to the doctor, got some more x-rays, and the bone was still killing itself. Anyway, went back to the doctor, and he said the bone was still killing itself. Oops. So they scheduled me for another surgery to take that screw out. So they took the screw out, and by then I had this big, fat scar on my hand that, in my opinion, looked like an earthworm. So I went up to Mayo Clinic in Minnesota, and if you don't know what that is, it's a really huge hospital that uses pretty much state-of-the-art everything. And it's huge. There's like 4 or 5 sections to it, so you can imagine we got lost a lot. So they scheduled me to go up there, and I live in Iowa. So it took us like 3 or 4 hours just to get up there, and then we had to stay for like 2 days. And they gave me a doctor that specialized in hands. He told me that the bone was dying, and the only thing he could do for it is either fuse the bones together or do an experimental surgery that he himself had created that used bone grafting. And he told me it's gonna have to either be from my hip or my knee. So I told him, well, I'd rather my knee because, you know, I sleep on my side. And yeah, I know this isn't the best story in the world, but it's the only interesting thing I have to talk about. Anyway, oh, fuck. Anyway, don't fall off the edge again. He told me that we'd have to do that, so went in for surgery, and I got a doctor from England, a doctor from China, and and oh god, I forgot where I was. Oh yes, a plastic surgeon and all of her assistants, plus all my main doctor's assistants. And Lord. Okay, so I got like 20 doctors in this itty bitty tiny room. And the main doctor and his assistant were doing the bone grafting from my knee to my scaphoid. And the plastic surgeon was taking scar tissue out of the really big scar that the one guy had given me and made it smaller. But she told me this in advance, that it would leave my skin like taunter, if that's even a word, and that it would probably hurt a little bit. So, you know, I said that's fine. I'd rather it be that than, this huge earthworm on my arm that hurts all the time. Alright, this area is probably going to be having to use for pistons, and this can be the actual school area. So I might knock out this glass, or put a block in front of it. No, I don't know. Let's knock out the glass, because it's unnecessary and I don't want everyone seeing the redstone work because it's just ugly. And, anyway, back to the story. So, they put they put the bone in there, grafted it, and he wrote a whole paper on my surgery, because I was the experimental part. And excuse me, jeez. I don't think it went through. Oh, there it is. Lagging just a little bit. Anyway, he did his paper and everything. So what happened was I got the bone in there, and then they had to put 3 pins in my hand. Oh, I'm gonna have to reconnect. Anytime those were moved, it felt awful. Oh, lovely. Wonder why it's lagging out this bad. Alright, well, I'm gonna stop the recording here, and... oh no, never mind. We got it. Anyway, pins in my hand. The other doctors were in there, I guess, to learn the technique. Sit here. And, so I spent a good few months with my hand in a cast, and I spent, I think it was 3 days in the Minnesota hospital. It was Saint something or other, some Catholic hospital. So there were nuns all over the wall, and so I spent 3 or 4 days there relearning how to walk, because the bone in my knee, they had just taken out this square, and you can. The funny thing is, you can still feel it if you press there, and I like weirding out my friends and family with it. But yeah, I think that's the only interesting thing I had to talk about. So you got to hear about my 3 surgeries and such. And the whole process took maybe 2 years. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it was my senior year of high school and my freshman year of college. which killed me so bad because I spent weeks out of college drugged out of my mind because it hurt so bad. Let me suggest to you, do not ever break your arm and then let it go. You will spend weeks in a cast all the way up to your shoulder, and it is not fun. So yeah, after I've bored you guys with that story and built part of this, I think I might do the piston work off camera and see you guys later. Bye.